Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be talking about how you can do so much with this Galaxy Z Fold2. There's some things in this video that I haven't seen a lot of people talk about, but I use on a daily basis. I'm going to talk about using, it in phone mode, tablet mode, playing games on it, running it as a desktop computer, running Linux on it. There's so much you can do that make this one of the most versatile devices that I've ever used, and I'm kind of excited to tell you about all the things I've been doing with it. Now, this isn't really a review video, but for those of you that don't know what the Z Fold 2 is, it is a Samsung phone running a Snapdragon 865 Plus processor. It's got 12 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage, and it has this beautiful 6.2-inch outside screen running at 60 Hertz. So this is your typical Android screen. It's a little bit thinner form factor, but then you can open it up to this beautiful inside 7.6-inch screen running at 120 Hertz. This is a fantastic screen for just browsing the web, doing your social media, and especially for playing games. It's an absolute joy to play games on this device with that larger screen. I'm going to get more into the gaming later, but just regular games from the Play Store look fantastic on this device on that inside screen. Honestly, the outside screen for playing games, it's a little bit cramped, but for daily stuff, even the small keyboard with my fat fingers, I still don't have much of a problem using it. But for long typing sessions, or if I'm looking at my email or something, I'm going to open it up and use that larger screen. Now, that larger screen is also great for reading ebooks and stuff like that, browsing the web, and doing office work if you are on the go. You can load the Android versions of Microsoft Office on here and use those with the on-screen keyboard, but you can also get an external keyboard like I did. I got this little external Bluetooth keyboard that also has a trackpad, and it came with a stand. So if I need to type some emails or do some office work, type something into Notion for one of my YouTube videos or OneNote or something like that, I just pop this open, use the little keyboard, use it kind of in desktop mode, and then close everything up and stick it all back in my pocket or throw it in my bag. And honestly, if I'm going on vacation or something, this is all I would need to take to be able to do my notes, do my scripts for my videos, respond to emails, all that kind of stuff without having to lug my whole laptop with me. Now, using the mouse and keyboard on the screen is great, but if you want that full desktop experience, that's where DeX comes in. If you hook this up to a monitor using USB-C to a USB-C monitor, or a little adapter like this one that has HDMI and a few USB Type A ports, you can make this into a full desktop setup. You can have your monitor, keyboard, and mouse, and you can either do Bluetooth keyboard and mouse or hook it in through the USB if your monitor supports it, or you have the adapter. Once you plug it in, it goes into DeX mode, which is basically a desktop interface. You can launch your applications, you can run things in Windows mode, you can have them side by side, you can toggle through them, just like if you were using a desktop operating system. It works extremely well. I even did a test where I connected up to my virtual machine at my job, I loaded up Teams, and I was actually able to work for the entire day in the DeX environment and be just as productive as I was sitting at my regular desktop. So DeX alone drastically improves the usability of this device and just adds a whole other dimension. If you're not a heavy PC user, honestly, you could get away with just having this phone for your mobile use and your desktop use as well. Now, since we're talking about using this thing kind of as a desktop, you can also install Linux on here. It runs it kind of in a containerized mode, and then you connect to your running instance of Linux. Install all your Linux applications. I've installed GIMP, which is an open source image editor. I've also installed LibreOffice, which is a full-featured Office suite, and they've both worked great. The nice thing is this will work either in DeX mode, or it'll also work outside of DeX mode, so you can use that little keyboard with the touchpad and use your Linux environment without having to be hooked up to anything else. I've used that a few times, and that works really, really well. Now, I mentioned a little bit about gaming, and gaming on that internal 120 hertz screen is phenomenal. The screen is beautiful, very vivid, 120 hertz. It's very, very smooth. There's a lot of games out there that actually run at the native resolution of the Galaxy Fold 2. The phone is also powerful enough that it's going to be able to run pretty much any application in the Play Store. Just download it, install it, run it. Works absolutely great. Now, if you're somebody like me, I don't care for on-screen controls for games on my phone. I prefer to have a controller. And there's a few controllers that work really, really well with the Galaxy Z Fold 2. I'll have a link down in the description to a couple that I've tried, but basically they either connect by USB-C or pair by Bluetooth. And then depending on the game, it's either going to recognize the controller or you may have to do some mapping. And that works awesomely. The ones that I'm recommending actually snap around the side of the Z Fold 2 when it's open. So you get a really nice sized gaming device with that 7.6-inch screen and the controllers that we're all used to. And it works really well. Both the wired one and the Bluetooth one work phenomenally. Where this thing really shines is with streaming services. So whether you're streaming from your home PC through something like Steam Link, or you're using Stadia, or the Xbox Pass, all of them work great. The game stream, it's a very, very solid connection. This thing's 5G, so you can easily use it over your cellular signal or from your house through Wi-Fi 6 if you want to connect that way. Works well. There's very low latency, and you can play some Xbox or PC titles on your phone, streaming them through the cloud or streaming them from your gaming computer through Steam. Works fantastically well, and it's great to just kick back on the couch or in bed with your controller hooked up to your Fold and play those games. Another area of gaming that this phone works great is with emulation, and we're talking about older stuff like Nintendo and Genesis, all the way up to GameCube and Wii and 3DS. They all work great on this phone. If you're going to do this, make sure you actually own the game that you're going to be dumping the ROM for and playing it in the emulation on your phone. But it works great. Something like the 3DS, you can do upsampling, so it actually looks better and runs just as well on a native 3DS, but you get it on that beautiful 120 hertz screen, upsampled, and it just looks and sounds fantastic on this device. With the controller, you basically have kind of a makeshift Switch in your hand, so that works really, really well as well. So with everything I mentioned, the Galaxy Z Fold 2 is a great gaming machine. It's a great productivity machine. It's a great, everyday checking your social media and your email. However you use your device, it excels in all those areas, even being able to use it on your desktop and run the applications. One thing I didn't mention is if you're doing streaming, playing a game or streaming it, you can run that in DeX mode, so you can play it on a monitor or a TV, and it works just as well as if you were playing it without going through DeX. So that works well as well, and it makes this a extremely versatile device, and I'm so happy that I got it. I honestly thought that folding phones were kind of gimmicky, but after using this and seeing all the capabilities, it is well worth the money that I spent to get it. Now, hopefully you found this useful or informative. If you did, hit that thumbs up. If you really liked it, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when I put new videos out. Thanks for stopping by, and I will see you in the next video.